Since it extends from there, that composition is called a book of Zohar, for it flows from that radiance.
From Adir Bamarom.
Rashbi composed a book of Zohar according to the illumination that reached him when he was being corrected in the cave. It is a great and awesome composition that reveals the depths of the secrets with great clarity of the Torah itself, and it is called a revelation of the inner meaning of the Torah. Excerpt number 4. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai would reveal the secrets of the Torah while the friends listened to his voice and participated with him in this composition, and each was contributing his portion, as was done in the Mishnah by the Tanaim, when our holy rabbi compiled all of them in the book of Mishnah. This is what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai wanted, for all the utterances of his yeshiva students to be compiled into a book, to be a commentary about the Torah. Since all the compositions speak about particular matters, but the Zohar is written about the whole Torah. It is called a great gate to the whole of the Torah, and Rabbi Shimon commanded Rabbi Abba to write and arrange all the things spoken of by the sages in the yeshiva, whenever and wherever they were, and to arrange everything according to the order of the Torah.
תוך בעל הסולם, מאמר לסיום הזוהר.
From Baal Sulam, praise of the completion of the book of Zohar.
אף על פי שהיו לפני ימות המשיח.
Rashbi and his generation, the authors of the Zohar, were granted all 125 degrees in completeness, even though it was prior to the days of the Messiah. It was said about him and his disciples, a sage is preferable to a prophet. Hence, we often find in the Zohar that there will be none like the generation of Rashbi until the generation of the Messiah came. This is why his composition made such a great impact in the world, since the secrets of the Torah in it occupy the level of all 125 degrees. From Zohar for All, Song of Songs. Item 482. The wisdom that one should know, to know and to observe the secret of his master, to know himself, to know who he is, how he was created, where he comes from, and where he is going, how the body is corrected, and how he will be judged by the King of all. And to look and be judged by the King of all. To know and to observe the secret of the soul. What is the soul within him? Where does it come from? And why does it come into this body, which is a foul drop that is here today and in the grave tomorrow? To know the world is in one. To know the world one is in, and for what will the world be corrected, to gaze upon the sublime secrets of the upper world, and to know one's master. And one sees all that within the secrets of the Torah.
תוך ערכו מבוא לשאר ההקדמות. אין לו להקדוש ברוך הוא קורת רוח בעולמו, אלא...
The Creator has no contentment in His world except when we engage in this wisdom. Moreover, man was not created except to study the wisdom of Kabbalah.
מתוך החידה שם הגדולים, חלק ספרים, מערכת
From the Chida, Shem HaGdolim, Chelek Sfarim. The study of the Zohar is a great correction to enlighten the soul and sanctify it. From the Ramak, Or Yakar. When engaging in this composition, the power of the souls and of Moses are awakened. For when they engage in it, they renew the renewed light, which was renewed at the time of its composition, And the divine shines and illuminates with that light, as in the beginning of its renewal then, and all who engage in it return and awaken that same benefit and that previous light which Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his friends revealed at the time of its composition.
חברים, רק נזכיר שהיום אנחנו לומדים גם מכתבי בעל
To
הסולם.
remind you that we are also be studying from the writings of Baal Sulam, letter number 17.
תוך דגל מחנה אפרים ליקוטים.
From the banner over the camp of Ephraim. The language of the Zohar is a remedy for the soul, even if one does not understand anything it says. It is similar to a person who enters a perfume store. Even though he did not take anything, in any case, he has absorbed the good smell.
מתוך רבי צבי הירש
From
אייכנשטיין,
Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch Eichenstein of Tzvidoch.
צור מרע דף ד'.
Tzul Merav ve'oseh tov.
אחי ורעי.
Listen to me, my brothers and friends, the friends who yearn for and seek the honest truth of the service of the heart, to view the pleasantness of the Creator and to visit His hall. My soul will bow down and adhere to the book of Zohar, for we know, from the words of our predecessors, of the remedy of engaging in the holy book.
תוך זוהר לעם בראשית.
From Zohar for all, Bereshit Aleph, degree of Yesod in Him. Happy are those who look into their desire, the meaning of the upper secrets, to walk in the path of truth, to merit this world and to illuminate the next world for them. Concerning them it is written, the righteous shall shine. Happy are they in this world and in the world to come. Those who cling to the Creator in truth, their desire guides them to advance in their work, as it is established above in the upper worlds, as it is written, and Abraham went as the Lord had commanded him. Hence, later when they observe their desire, they know the sublime secrets, for they look into the tendencies in their own desires, and know how the sublime secrets are determined above. תוך זוהר לעם בהעלותך, העורב והיונה, פסקה 88. והמשכילים... From Zohar for all, and the wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, are the authors of the Kabbalah. They are the ones who exert in this brightness, called the book of Zohar, which is like Noah's Ark, gathering 2 from a town and 7 kingdoms, and sometimes 1 from a town and 2 from a family, in whom the words, every son that is born you shall cast into the river, come true. The Torah is called a son. The newborn is the attained. Into the river means the light of Torah. Cast is like you will study it, where you study each insight that is born in you by the light of Torah and by its soul. This is the light of this book of Zohar, and it is all because of you.
תוך עטרת צבי, פרשת בהעלותך.
From the Rav Tzvi Hirsch of Ateret Tzvi. Happy and blessed are we, who were rewarded with his light, to walk and contemplate the pleasant words of the upper illumination of the holy light. Its taste is sweet, and it is altogether delightful, unending waters and without limit, to understand and know the acts of creation and the works of the Merkavah, how to be a chariot, to unite and restore the soul to its source, to the root it was hewn from. This was determined and rooted in my soul. Whoever has not seen the light of the book of Zohar has never seen light.
נמשיך בהכנה שקטה. שוב, אנחנו לומדים היום מכתבי בעל הסולם.
And I'd like to remind you that today we'll also be reading from the writings of Baal Sulam, letter number 17. And afterwards, if we have time, we'll be reading from Zohar. We would like to remind you all to silence your phones. Anyone who asks a question is asked to hold it close to their mouth and speak clearly. We'll continue with quiet preparation.
השיעור מבוסס על מאמרים מהספר כתבי בעל הסולם.
The lesson is based on the writings of Baal Sulam. You can download it at cab.tv and you can order online. You can order by telephone 1-700-509-209. Hello, we are reading from the writings of Baal Sulam, Sage's Fruit, or online, letter number 17. You can ask questions at cab.tv, and selected questions will be asked during the lesson. There are many terms for successful spiritual work. In order to bring a person to his correction that will really build himself as Adam Harishon, and the path is by each time that a person finds the chisaron, the deficiency, and raises it as a prayer and receives help, that through the fruition of the help he attains the next degree. But in order to want the help, a person needs to try and progress, to see that he's not able to, and then understand what needs to be done in order for it to be accomplished. And then he turns to the Creator in a prayer and realizes his deficiency. So the process is one that we need to keep walking on, continue on what might seem impossible in our own strength to us. And when we get to a point where we are making the efforts and we're exerting it and we see that it's not possible and we have to pray, and the prayer is always called as raising man, where we want the part of Malchut, Nukvin, to rise to the Mei HaNukvin, meaning the Mei HaBina. That's why our work begins with we are enlightening the path, enlightening the step that we have to take, and we try and do it with all our might. We try everything we can, and we see that we have to connect. And let me see through the connection that we connect to one desire, to one force, as much as possible, and we outburst in a prayer. And that's how we can have the correct step forward. So let's see how the Baal Sulam describes it in his letter number 17, where the spiritual ascension gets fulfilled by the connection that keeps increasing between the friends with every step. And with every step, it's more and more connection, that it's more close, it's more, has more quality, and by that we progress towards the goal. We are reading from the writings of Baal Sulam, the Sage's Fruit, letter number 17. Yet, let me write to you with regard to the middle pillar in the work of God, so as to always be a target for you between right and left. This is because there is he who walks, who is worse than he who sits idly. It is he who deflects from the road, for the path of truth is a very thin line that one walks until one comes to the king's palace. One who begins to walk at the beginning of the line needs great care so as not to deviate to the right or to the left of the line, even as much as a hair's breadth. This is so because at first the deviation is as a hair's breadth, even if one continues completely straight. It is certain that he will no longer come to the king's palace, as he is not stepping on the true line, such as this. This is a true comparison. Let me explain to you the meaning of the middle pillar, which is the meaning of the Torah, the Creator, and Israel are one. There's many questions here already. If I deviated from the line, if I'm going correctly today, or if I'm going a bit deviated, there's many questions here. If there's a way to measure this, to check, if there's a mistake here, or if there was a mistake, we will put all of these questions aside. We will continue as much as we can with what he explains in the general idea that he's explaining. We want to try and grasp it as best as we can. The purpose of zzsolt. Let me explain to you the meaning of the middle pillar, which is the meaning of the Torah, the Creator, and Israel are one. The purpose of the soul, when it comes in the body, is to attain, returning to its root, and to cleave unto Him, while clothed in the body, as it is written, to love the Lord, your God, to walk in all His ways, to keep His commandments, and to cleave unto Him. You see that the matter ends in to cleave unto Him, meaning as it was prior to clothing in the body. However, great preparation is required, which is to walk in all His ways. Yet, who knows the ways of the Creator? Indeed, this is the meaning of Torah that has 613 ways. He who walks by them will finally be purified until his body will no longer be an iron partition between him and his Maker. As it is written, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh. Then he shall cleave to his Maker, just as he was before the clothing of the soul in the body. Do you understand what you're reading yourself? I'm not sure. That's not the way you read. Please. It's not. It's Zohar where you're used to just reading like that. Please. We will continue reading from the beginning of the line. Let me explain to you the meaning of the middle pillar, which is the meaning of the Torah, the Creator, and Israel are one. The purpose of the soul when it comes in the body is to attain returning to its root and to cleave unto Him, while clothed in the body, as it is written, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all His ways, to keep His commandments, and to cleave unto Him. You see that the matter ends in to cleave unto Him, meaning as it was prior to clothing in the body. However, great preparation is required, which is to walk in all His ways. Yet, who knows the ways of the Creator? Indeed, this is the meaning of Torah that has 613 ways. He who walks by them will finally be purified until his body will no longer be an iron partition between him and his Maker. As it is written, "And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh. Then he shall cleave to his Maker, just as he was before the clothing of the soul in the body." It turns out that there are three aspects. 1. Israel is one who strains oneself to return to one's root. 2. The Creator, namely the root one longs for. 3. The 613 ways of the Torah by which one purifies one's soul and body. This is the spice. As it is written, "I have created the evil inclination, I have created for it the Torah as a spice." However, these three are actually one and the same. In the end, any servant to the Creator attains them as single, united, and unified. They only appear to be divided into three because of one's incompleteness in the work of the Creator. Let me clarify something to you. You shall see its tip, but not its entirety, except when He delivers you. It is known that the soul is a part of God above. Before it comes in a body, it is as cohesive as a branch to the root. See in the beginning of Tree of Life that He had created the worlds because He wanted to manifest His holy names, merciful and gracious, etc. For if there are no creatures to have mercy on, etc., these words are very profound indeed. However, as much as the pen permits, as the whole Torah is but the names of the Creator. As they said, the meaning of attainment is that which we do not attain, we do not define by a name. It is written in the books that all these names are the reward of the souls, compelled to come into the body, for it is precisely through the body that it can attain the names of the Creator. Its stature is according to its attainment. There is a rule. The sustenance of any spiritual thing is according to the merit of knowing it. A corporeal animal feels itself because it consists of mind and matter. Thus, a spiritual sensation is a certain lore, and the spiritual stature is measured by the value of the lore. As it is written, one is praised according to one's mind. However, the animal knows it does not feel at all. Delve in this thoroughly. Understand the reward of the souls. Before a soul comes into the body, it is but a tiny dot, though attached to the root as a branch to a tree. This dot is called the root of the soul and its world. Had it not entered into this world in a body, it would only have its own world, meaning its own part in the root. However, the more it comes to walk in the paths of the Creator, which are the 613 ways of the Torah that return to being the actual names of the Creator, the more its stature grows according to the level of the names it has attained. This is the meaning of the words, the Creator imparts each and every righteous 310 worlds. Interpretation: the soul consists of two righteous, upper righteous and lower righteous, as the body is divided from the tabul, the navel, upward, and from the tabul downward. Thus it acquires the written Torah and the oral Torah, which are 2 times 310, being 610 in Gematria. These are the 613 mitzvot of the Torah and the 7 mitzvot de Rabbanan, for our great rabbis. It is written in Tree of Life. The worlds were created only to disclose the names of the Creator. Thus, you see that since the soul came down to clothe this filthy substance, it could no longer cleave to its root, to its own world, as before it came to this world. Rather, it must increase its stature 620 times more than how it previously was in the root. This is the meaning of the entire perfection, the entire Naranchai up to Yechidah, for which Yechidah is called Keter, implying the number 620. Thus you see that the meaning of the 620 names, being the 613 mitzvot of the Torah and the 7 mitzvot de Rabbanan, are in fact the 5 properties of the soul, meaning Naranchai. This is because the vessels of the Naranchai are from the above 620 mitzvot, and the lights of Naranchai are the very light of the Torah in each and every mitzvah. It follows that the Torah and the soul are one. However, the Creator is the light of Ein Sof, clothed in the light of the Torah, which is found in the above 620 mitzvot. Understand that thoroughly, for this is the meaning of their words, the whole Torah is in the names of the Creator. It means that the Creator is the whole, and the 620 names are parts and items. These items are according to degrees and steps of the soul that does not acquire its light all at once, but slowly, one after the other. From all the above, you find that the soul is destined to acquire all 620 names, its entire stature, which is 620 more than it had before it came. Its stature appears in the 620 mitzvot, where the light of the Torah is clothed, and the Creator in the collective light of the Torah. Thus you see that the Torah, the Creator, and Israel are indeed one. Examine these words carefully, as they require only a simple explanation. It is about that they said, I shall not explain the literal. I shall not explain the literal, and you shall be happy if you perceive what is before you. Let us return to the issue that before the completeness in the work of the Creator, the Torah, the Creator, and Israel appear as 3 discernments. At times, one wishes to complete one's soul and return it to its root, which is considered Israel. At times, one wishes to perceive the ways of the Creator and the secrets of Torah. For if he does not know the commandments of the Upper One, how will he serve him? This is considered Torah. Sometimes one wishes to attain the Creator, meaning to cleave unto Him with complete cognizance. One essentially regrets only that, and does not agonize over attaining the secrets of the Torah. Also, one does not agonize over returning one's soul to its origin, as it was prior to clothing in a body. Hence, one who walks upon the true line of preparing for the work of God must always test himself to see if he wants the 3 above aspects equally, as the end of the act equalizes with its beginning. If one wants one of them more than the second or the third, then one deflects from the path of truth. and understands this. Thus, you'd better hold on to the goal of yearning for the commandment from the Upper One. For he who does not know the ways of the Upper One and the commandments of the Upper One, which are the secrets of Torah, how will he serve him? Among all three, this is what guarantees the middle line most. This is the meaning of open for me one aperture of repentance, such as the eye of a needle, and I will open for you gates where carts and coaches enter. Interpretation: the aperture is not for entrance and exit, but to insert the thread for sewing and for work. Similarly, you are to crave only the commandment of the Upper One, to work, and then I will open for you a door such as an entrance to a hall. This is the meaning of the explicit name in the verse, but in very deed spelled like hall in Hebrew, as I live, and all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord. Yehuda Leib.
We see from here at least what we wanted to explain in the morning, that you have to see from the beginning, the very beginning of the path from where we are until the very end, as much as you can, but there has to be as if it has to more or less be clear according to one's current situation or state what the beginning of the path is, what the path itself is, and what is its final form of that created being, group, that, or the Adam, the human being, the man that has to achieve correction. Therefore, we talked about it, that one should think about this, and he mentioned this in many places, especially where it says about the last generation, that we have to think about how do we intend to go out to correct the world, to disseminate, circulate the wisdom of Kabbalah in the world. It says about it in Messiah's horn, Shofaro Shel Mashiach, and in different other places where he describes our path. Therefore, we too have to think, how do we at least disconnect from the 10, that for us is already something that we're used to, that's warm, that's very personal, very egoistic, mine. And how do we rise above that and start seeing that the 10 is a more spiritual thing, something more abstract, something more disconnected than what I imagine as my friends, our chairs, our table, and different corporeal forms and shapes that as if give me a feeling of connection, of a nest, of the 10, of the group, meaning to every time a bit more and more to peel off any corporeal dress from the 10. This is what we have to do. Otherwise, we can sit in such a connection and we'll feel good. That's all we need. And this how will continue. So it's clear. Questions?
No.
Baal Sulam
writes a few things about the completion of the soul and understanding the Creator. Why do we need anything other than the first one of just understanding the soul, of how to work with the 10 and how to pray for the friends? Why do you need the second and third?
I don't understand the question. I don't understand the question.
The Baal Salam writes about three things that I need to yearn for equally. I don't understand why we need to yearn for the second and the third. Why we can't just yearn for returning one soul to its root.
What does it mean, the completion of the soul?
To pray for my friends and the importance of the goal.
And what is there about it?
That we connect to the same soul and attain the Creator.
And what is number 2 and number 3?
To understand what the Creator longs for and understanding the Torah.
How could it be that you're correctly advancing in connection in the group if you're not keeping number 2 and number 3 in the 10?
What does it mean to learn for the attainment of the Creator?
To yearn for the attainment of the Creator means to open Avaya.
Why do I need to yearn for it? Why is it important for my work in the 10?
Because this is my soul. The more I open it, the more adhered with the Creator I am.
But I don't need to yearn to be in Vikut adhere to the Creator. I need to be with my friends, connected to them.
Repeat that again, please.
I don't need to yearn to be adhere to the Creator. I need to pray for my friends to be adhered to the Creator.
Meaning, if I help others, reach what?
To be adhered to the Creator.
To be in Dvikut with the Creator, then by that I complete everything. Why is that? He says someplace that if you at least do that, then so be it. Or at least save others. That's true, if there's no choice. To be satisfied with that, but that's not correcting oneself.
So I don't understand why I need to yearn for myself to attain the Creator.
Because this is your soul. I have to be included of the whole of reality. And so that this reality that I acquire, it's the Kli, Havaya, that is revealed completely, developed, and the Creator is revealed in it, disclosing it. And I am the one causing all this. And then it means that I am adhered to the Creator, and that this dvikut is the final stop.
The only way that I'm able to understand this is if I imagine my friends as my friends.
In the meantime, okay, you heard a certain sentence. That's correct, but that's not all. It's not enough. You're saying, for me, it's enough. Okay, in the meantime, it's enough. It's like a little kid. You're going to first grade. Go ahead. May you succeed in first grade alone. So go ahead, succeed in this sentence. But that's incorrect. You have to yearn for all three conditions equally. You have to aspire for them. And therefore, it's not preferable for you to remain stubborn in what you want.
I don't know how to have the right intentions for attaining the Creator.
So don't be sure that you're working on something correct. Let it go, and after some time, you'll see that it looks different. Yes, Niv?
Where comes the terms of when the last thought?
Healthy, rationale, egoistic, and altruistic, and altogether, anyone in the right mind that takes any step forward, first and foremost, looks at this rationale, accepts this condition as something basic, necessary in order to carry out the correct rational action. How could it be that I'm doing something without knowing what that something is?
Yes, but he writes that they become one, and at the end they become as one. And from what I understand, that only happens at the end of the path. that the Creator does it.
Sure, that only at the end of the path they connect, but there has to be your effort that you keep them as one, that also you and the Kli that you make and the Creator that fills the Kli, all of reality, the entire reality, will become revealed to you as one mechanism. Light and Kli. That's all there is. But it has to go and grow all the time.
Why that if I direct myself, even if I'm not in it, to that desired state, it will bring me to it?
Because then you will take the right steps by crossing all these three conditions. Otherwise, how can you advance? How can you take even a step forward? I don't know. I worked in aviation. So you have the North Star. You have the place where you are. You have other examinations according to different signs in the sky, and then you know how to direct yourself in relation to anything you want. You say that, okay, you determine right now this is where I am. But if you didn't grasp this principle of where you are, then you don't know anything. Suppose the airplane's in the field. It doesn't know where the north is, where what is. It's a piece of metal. How do you give it the right parameters, the right directions? Because without that, it'll go anywhere. How? You have to give it the precise direction. Even though that it's even before it leaves. So he says, before we perform, carry out any action, whatever you can, wherever is possible for you, you have to stabilize Israel, the light, and the Creator are one. Israel is you. The light are all those actions that you're about to take, that you want to take in order to reach the correct goal. And the Creator that has to become revealed to some extent together with you in unity according to what you do. This is exactly the right step.
So at the end it finishes with just needing to yearn for the commandments. Just the actions, if I understand correctly. There's myself, the Creator, and there's the actions. It's better, it says it's better to just adhere to the commandments.
Read exactly what it says. What are these commandments of the teacher, of the Great One? This means exactly that these three things have to be connected together. That I arranged the Kli along with the Creator that fills the Kli, where the Kli is correctly organized, aligned, and then the three are as one. He and His name are one.
There's not that it's all of a sudden it's among the three, and then all of a sudden you pick one, which is the commandment from the upper one. It's the
exactly the middle line. It's the average of these three. It's the middle line. That it gives you the exact middle point of these three.
So what are the commandments of the upper one?
It's to reach dvekut in each and every state.
That's the goal?
Right, the local goal in each and every state. It's not the final goal.
And the action? I am the operator, and the dvikut with the Creator is the goal, and the action that I need to do.
Prepare the Kli for it to happen.
No, because why it seems so clear, so why is it so careful to specify if you deviate from the path and you won't find a way? It's clear that the goal is the Creator and the actions are connection, and that I am the operator, I'm the one doing the action. Where's the danger of deviating?
If you think about it before you do something, if you don't think about it before you do something, then you're wrong for sure.
So let's talk in this instance, that we're in a tent. Where do we not think about the Torah, Israel, and the Creator as one?
Why don't you think I don't know?
Why are we not organizing it correctly?
It's not something that's standing in front of your own eyes. It's not your goal. It's not something that you set out to achieve as your goal.
So the means becomes the goal, so that the 10 all of a sudden becomes...
The 10 is the means, correct. But I don't know what goals you have.
Why is the correction that you are directing us towards is to unite the 10?
It's not new. I, all in all, want you to feel how much you're wrong, that you don't understand, that you don't know, that you're not realizing anything, that you're hanging in thin air. This is what I want, for you to discover a chisaron that will bring to the raising of man.
This is also what I'm trying to clarify. Where is the deviation? Where is the mistake that we are in right now? And why is uniting the 10 is the correction for the deviation that we're in right now?
In your 10, you know how to get along. You know how to get along. You're as if sitting in the same airplane saying, "No, we know where the north is, everything's fine, we're flying in the right direction. Leave us in peace." And this is how it is from day to day. I want to confuse you. I want to confuse your intellect. I want to push you out of balance intentionally. For you to all the time be in a state that's like that spy jet. It's called Khamkan in Hebrew. In English, we have to find out what that is. But that it's constantly kind of out of balance, and this is how you have to be. Then we'll be able to build the man. Because otherwise you don't know where you are and what direction and so on. We have to discover that we're completely dependent on the Creator, totally. Otherwise, it's better to die than keep on living this way, because I feel that I don't know where I am. Every time, each moment without Him, it seems to me as, I don't know, a disaster. This is the kind of feeling that we have to reach. The kind of aircraft Rav mentioned before is the stealth aircraft.
When it depends, our dependency comes from the 10, what happens from that?
Sure.
If we have an experiment that we say that the next week we will completely mix ourselves in, there are times when we'll sit just completely mixed. In that sense, how do we make sure that we won't have that deviation? What will be the measurement that will be used here?
I hope so. I hope that you will feel less safe and a bit more hanging in thin air, not knowing exactly what's going on here. Also, your mood will be in correspondence with lack of confidence that you feel, and then there will be some kind of search. Meaning we're not looking for the right spot for our, pardon my French, butt to land on. But that we're searching to be dependent on the Creator in the unknown, where we're in the unknown, uncertainty, but we depend on Him. That it's like a tower hanging thin air, where you depend only on the Creator. Not that I'm stable, I'm sure, I'm standing, or I'm laying down. No, I depend on Him in each and every moment. In a state that if I let go of Him, immediately I'm hung. Immediately. And then I'm adhered to Him. This is the feeling that you should have.
There needs to be a feeling. Is that a result? Where do I focus on? If I'm not trying to feel dependent on the grid, I'm trying to feel the connection. What am I trying to feel here?
No, our goal is to feel that we depend on Him. This is the goal. I actually don't need anything besides that. If so, I exchange Pharaoh for the Creator. This is what I want to do.
Our goal is to be dependent on Him.
Yeah.
So where does the 10 enter here? What do I want from the 10 for this goal?
From the negative or the positive side, but all of our work in the 10 is only toward that, for that. How to be dependent only on the Creator and all the time. In each and every moment, both feeling the lack of dependence, lack of grip, more correctly put, and also immediately searching for the grip, achieving it momentarily in order to attain, once again, the absence of this grip in the next moment. But here there is an addition. What are we doing it for? In order to calm ourselves down, or in order to give Him contentment. Right? Moshe.
On this point, how do we not hide ourselves? How do we not be hidden? We're hiding ourselves. How, after all these actions, do we not hide ourselves?
This is how we help each other. We have to perform these actions precisely in order to fulfill a need, a lack, a need that we're needy of Him. Yeah?
Clear to that needs to be from us. For example, for when we had these permanent tents and then when we changed the tents, it felt in the first few days that it was clear that there's some empty space and we have to start filling it. And then there was an internal struggle. And then that came from above to us.
It came from your ego. In this new state, was your intention to reach greater bestowal, need for the Creator? Well, later. It's all.
But why not on the level that I'm in? Not talking about others' levels, but the level that I'm in. There was a chisaron, there was a lack to have something more to be revealed in the tents, to reveal something new, and not just hide behind all kind of actions. Where to fight? Okay, the ego is doing its work, but on the evil I can't work, but on the good I can work. So what? It's very slippery. It's just always falling from my hands.
Help him. Who can help? You understand what he's asking? I hear what he's saying. Explain, what is he asking?
I'll try to ask, how do we stay in scrutiny that's precise to reveal the Creator and not just to hide ourselves behind these actions or these kind of things that we can hide in a tent, that things that will just allow us to slip away from these.
Bala Sulam says that this is our work. What, you want to run from the goal? He puts these three things before you and says just one thing. Hold on to them equally.
The ego will find ways to run away.
Yeah, and you, all the time, cross them together.
And it's very clear that that's the work and that's the Baal Islam is writing. But it's also clear that we are working towards new actions. So in what way can we give a new strength or a new feeling to not miss this? Okay, so we'll start with uncertainty. We'll live in uncertainty. But in some way we have to...
What? We, all the time, need to imagine that I, Moshe, Neve, anyone and everyone are in a state where you and the 10 and the Creator are together as the Kli and the filling. And then, as a result, you have to perform all of your actions in thought and whatever else only from that point where one depicts himself, the 10, and the Creator as one. And to act out of that, to think from there, to look and find each and everything in each given moment. The main thing is that the final act is in the initial thought. And then we won't run from the line. We'll do something simple. These examinations where he says that to yearn equally for this and for that, for us, it's not present yet. It's not revealed as something being full and with its components. Israel and also Oraita and also Kuchabrichu still doesn't exist. But for us, this too is enough, the state of the final dvekut. We want to feel that it's in us and that this is what we act from. What is it for me? For me, it's the group. If I go a bit forward, what's up ahead? In all of our groups, our tens, and suppose everything I see in front of me, or even all around the world, they're all as one. This way. So this is why we want to come a bit more out of the corporeal frameworks and to bring ourselves to a more abstract state. Yes.
I know that if we had now an exercise to be in silence for 1 minute to open the heart towards a friend, within 10 seconds I'll fall. The left will immediately feel how it's suffering.
And before that?
I would go to all kinds of directions.
No, I mean before that. Was it different? You're saying now if we'll do this exercise, and if it was a week ago?
It'd be even worse.
So what's the problem? You're saying that it's impossible to hold on to this rule, to keep it, what Bala Sulam tells us here. This is your question. Here you need social consent. You need the influence of the environment over a person. There's nothing that you can do about this. Either we accept it as some kind of an agreement among us, or we don't. Yeah.
How do I open the heart? It doesn't matter if I do actions or not, but How simply do I open the heart and to feel it as open and ask for that, towards that?
The heart, you open it egoistically by convincing yourself that without opening your heart to the friends, you're lost. That's it. You have to start with the ordinary ego. Did you find any excerpts that can... Oh, add them later on. Yes.
So it happens that I came here this morning. I sit with some 10. We have no connection between us.
What do you mean there's no connection? We were connected yesterday, and today we're not connected. And from yesterday to today, you're the same people. You look at his face, it's the same face. But besides that, you don't even feel it, how much you changed, that you no longer know each other. Because you look at the faces. These faces, they lie to you, they deceive you, that as if you're the same 10. I want to show you that the same 10 does not exist, that the same people don't exist. It's never that way. From one moment to the next, everything changes, and that you'll become accustomed to this, that every time you'll be used to seeing a new person, a new friend.
That's exactly what I meant. Every day it's like fresh, and you're all new, and then every morning it's completely different, and everyone imagines the space, the 10 that we're together, that we will reveal the Creator.
This is how you feel every morning? So that's why I'm saying...
That's what we need to feel.
That's why I'm saying, let's change 10s.
That's what I'm saying. If we come to see that we want to reveal every morning, and it has nothing to do with the bodies that we see in front of us, and within a few days, within a week, we will completely mix all of us.
That's fine.
And there will be no connection with our bodies.
So your question being?
The same intention. Me, the Creator, the friends want to reveal the Creator. That's what I need to come to the morning lesson, to hold that state all the time.
Yeah. Not only to come to the lesson, also to leave the lesson and to be in it the whole day long.
To always be with that space that me, the 10, and the Creator are always together.
Yeah. Why is it a void, space? The entire world is that way. The whole of reality is this way. Until you'll start saying that this is what reality truly is, that you're there, the entire world's there, everything.
So how does this ball? It's like a blooming ball in the air. How do I even hold this? How do I...
But nothing besides me exists.
And how do we help each other?
Enough. All the rest, you should deal it with yours. You should deal with it yourselves. Yeah.
Going from defining 10s as mixed to defining them as a complete annulment of 10s.
What do you mean by the annulment of 10s? Incorrect. No one's canceling the 10s. I did not change my Havaya. So it says, it's not in our hands and it's not any kind of goal. The 10 is the only existing thing that the Creator has formed. And in it, He becomes revealed according to the equivalence form of the 10, the Havaya. We can't cancel that. We can't even talk about it. The Havaya is what's up ahead. It's the connection between the light and the desire. That the light influences the desire, and the desire reacts to the light. Then, the way the light influences the desire is called direct Havaya. And the response of the Havaya to the light is called the opposite Havaya. Inverse Havaya.
This work that you now talked about, where does it happen? A person that wants now to connect to a 10 that you describe, that's disconnected from bodies. How does he do it?
I don't know, but if it says the final act is in the initial thought, I have to imagine to myself, of course not to get into fantasies, but to imagine the entire world to envision that the entire world and myself and my 10 are now performing an act. Act of what? Of connection, in order for us to be able to respond to what's going on and to arrange Israel, Oraita, and Kuchabrichu, Israel, the light and the Creator are one.
What's me in the world? What's me and the 10 in the world?
You, the 10, and the world are one. It means that all there is just one Havaya. How do you depict this? I have no idea. I'm not getting into your imaginations, your ideas, because it'll change all the time.
Yeah, it just strengthens my argument that defining the tens is...
I don't want to think about your corporeal tens, that it's somehow related to the spiritual 10. I don't want to even hear that. What parallel line do you have?
How to not deal with that practicality, not in the workshops, not in anything we do. How do I not need to connect in a tent? How do I define this? How do I do it so it's not just abstract, where it can be something I can feel, I can grasp?
We're doing work between us, between 10 friends, in order to reach the abstract form of the 10.
There's no 10 friends.
Why?
Where are these 10 friends?
What do you mean, no? There are no 10s?
If the 10s will be where they're all the time mixed.
So what if they change every day?
So that they just go with me throughout the day?
I don't understand. What are you imagining? Where did you ever hear me? When did you ever hear me say that I'm canceling the 10s? What do you have in your mind? I want to disconnect you from the faces, from the bodies, from the corporeal characteristics and character of each and every one. I don't want you to stick to these 10 protein bodies, a spiritual, any kind of spiritual form. This is what I want. That's it.
Again.
To continue the question. So what to clothe if I'm trying to disconnect from the outside bodies?
I don't know. That's all there is. Besides the 10 in which I see the partzufim, the faces, and their different forms, that's it. This is called 10. I don't want for this to mislead you.
I feel like there should be some kind of attitude towards the friends.
What kind of attitude?
There's an attitude towards the force.
That this is how I behave toward the Koka, this way toward Niv, this way toward him, that way toward that. Like the friends. Everyone knows them. So what, this is how I relate to them? According to that. Then you're a bunch of what? Soccer players. What are you engaged in here? What are you dealing with?
It's the form that I imagine most of us have. So now what do? How do we erase that shape? That different attitude that we have, or the different points in the heart?
Exactly. Exactly. Points in the heart. This is what you want to see. That's it. All the rest is insignificant. At least, let's try. Will we succeed in rising toward that somewhat, that already being something big? But the upgrade that we're facing here is something very essential.
If we talked about connecting between the tens, so we started to talk about connecting all the tens into one, and every friend comes into one simplified 10,
Here too, there are many different exercises here in order to disconnect us from the corporeal shape, form of the friend. We'll see. Look, I'm not saying. Maybe this is something that we'll scrutinize now and we'll find out that, okay, it's still not worthwhile doing, it's dangerous, better to do just a little. I'm not saying. But the fact that I'm starting to talk about it, it gives us somewhat of a feeling of the future. We'll get used to it. Let's say we don't realize it yet, but we get used to it and gradually we come closer to it, and maybe not now, maybe in 2 months' time, but that we'll have something that already radiates from afar.
Student from Haifa is asking, how would you describe the actions of an ideal 10 throughout the day?
What does it matter what kind of 10, random or not? Or you shuffle yourselves, confuse yourselves several times a day. Doesn't matter. I work with the faces. I have to work with the point in each and everyone's heart. That's it.
So on that point, Sergei from Moscow is asking, how do you stay in a connection with the spiritual 10 throughout the day?
And what other way is there to stay connected? What you call Neve up? Neve, what's up? What's going on in soccer? How did you hang out yesterday night? How was everything? That's how things are. If so, then you can't talk about that way with the people that suppose exist randomly in the 10. That's true. But you know that with them, for sure, you can talk about connection, arvut, adhesion, that this is something common for everyone. Amikam, let's see you.
It's an impression, and it's also written in the letter, that there's importance of the soul that connects the body, and there's some kind of point on about the body.
Where does the soul rest? And the turbid body, what kind of turbid body do you see? The corrupt will to receive, right. And what does it have to do with your pretty bod?
20 kilo less. I mean, there's something to do with the revelation of where you need to connect the desire, the spiritual desire, to the corporeal desire, the desire to receive.
I'm sorry, I don't want to hear that. It's forbidden for you to talk that way, really. I'm telling you the truth. Forbidden. You're corporalizing, materializing these things. I'm telling you, you don't know where you are. You have no idea.
Do I have some kind of suggestion?
What suggestion? What I heard's enough. That's it. I recommend you not to talk. For a few months at least. Otherwise it will truly be harmful to you and others. Yes.
What is a 10 in spirituality?
Avaya? Or the kli of the soul? No.
So I need to have an attitude towards the 10s as points in the heart.
I don't know what the points in the heart are.
You said that.
Okay, but 10 points in the heart that are connected together in one kli. We have to form a kli in which the Creator can clothe them.
I see, and I can feel that each friend in their bestowal and their example is...
What are you asking?
For example, right now, if you hear, what's a 10? What's my 10? Throughout the day.
My 10, really, is the only existing 10. I have not changed my Havaya, in which there are all the 10s, all people, all the points in the heart. There's just one 10.
One's construction?
No, not all the time, just one structure, called Adam Rishon. Adam.
To continue the question, what is the equivalence of form with the 10?
Equivalence of form with the 10, it means that I'm adhered with them and I do what we all decided on in order to reach adhesion with the Creator. Equivalence of form, no one's equal, but we only equalize in the goal, in relation to the goal. Yeah?
What questions do we need to ask throughout the day to know if we are on the correct path?
To all the time examine the goal. In our connection, are we realizing the goal? That's it.
Hi, I'm watching the lessons throughout the day, and you've managed to confuse me completely. And I'm not easily confused. And I'm trying to organize my thoughts and to help my friends, and trying to understand now from what I listened from the morning lesson and what you're saying now, and you've completely confused me.
Why? I succeeded, big time.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
We also said that this is the goal.
So you've succeeded. Congratulations.
What are you doing about this confusion?
Two things. First, I'm asking from you what to do with it, and second, I'm asking from the Creator what to do with it.
The second one's good.
So now I'm asking from you help. I want an explanation.
No. There is no explanation. No explanation. I want to confuse you for you to be needy of the Creator. That's it. That's what it's all about. Otherwise, what do you think? Where are you going to get the explanation, the help from? From whom? So turn to Him. Why am I doing all this with the 10s? We talked about it all the time. How are you listening to the lessons if you didn't listen, if you didn't hear this? This is my goal, so that no one will feel that he's sitting in a comfortable place, but that you're really in a life-threatening situation. And then you need the Creator. And then one cries and raises man and is willing to annul himself before the group just for something good to happen, and something good means to reach the power of bestowal. And that's how it is. Under such pressures and torments and suffering, we really scrutinize the path. And the children of Israel sighed from the work. They cried out because of the work. I don't understand you, friends, really. If we want to reach, if we want to become like the Creator, if we want to equalize with the Creator, Him being the power of bestowal and we being the power of reception, obviously we have to go through operations over operations endlessly. And every time, meaning operations, meaning surgery, and every time against our own will. And what I see on you is that you're really against it in a way that it really makes me happy. And that finally you feel where are your weak spots going to be, And what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. But we have to see that we're hanging between heaven and earth, in thin air, having no idea where to look, what to hold on to, but only Him, and only. So much so that if He won't help us, we'll die. And furthermore, if He won't help, we'll remain without the ability to bestow to Him, to delight Him. But to delight, to bestow, that's above death. It's beyond, above losing everything. And therefore, that now I want to shuffle, confuse a bit. It's just in order for us to understand what does man practically mean. Like in a laboratory, you're starting to respond correctly. We don't want to. You're right. That's good. We don't want to, right? But still, we'll try to advance. Yes.
Somehow, in my way, I found that the progress comes when after steps like this, where we have to do this work that the ego never fills up. And you somehow understand that there's no other way. It can't come in a way of comfort. So the question is, at some point will we get to be able to be such Kabbalists where we're able to have like a schedule where
if you'll do it yourselves, it'll be by way of hastening. If you wait, it will be by way of Beito. The Creator, He'll take care of you because you're already registered there. He'll take care of you anyway. But we have to hasten this situation ourselves. Gershon, what?
I understand what you're saying, that for a person to direct himself to the Creator, he needs to have such pressures that'll push him forward. It's clear that you need to get to a point like that. But what I don't understand is how will these changes in the 10 bring a person to that yearning? And so let's start with that. How will the change bring a person to that kind of pressure that he will have a prayer to the Creator?
I don't know. You can think that I do know and I don't know. That's also true. I don't want to reveal this to you. You have to be in doubt, in search, in helplessness, and then you'll amount to something. You want for everything to be clear. I promise you, nothing's going to be clear. You'll be confused till the very end. Yes.
I've understood half an ear not to confuse between the spiritual 10 and the corporeal 10. So maybe for each of us there needs to have like the framework, a corporeal framework, and a spiritual 10, the Havaya is...
But the problem is that you're adhered to the spiritual 10 and you think that everything's fine.
I think that there's some kind of confusion where you think that we're sitting here in these tents and that we're comfortable. My 10 was...
Now we'll see. I don't know what you're saying, and maybe you don't know what you're saying.
I just want to say simply, in terms of organizationally, that the corporeal framework is important, that we'll really work like an army.
Mister, we'll do a test and then we'll see. Don't think that you already know in advance what does this give, what does that give. There is someone back there that's against it from the early start.
If I understood correctly,
Hold the mic correctly.
the purpose of this change is to bring us out of a warm and comfortable place. Maybe we can do this differently. Today, specifically today, in the Tish, every tent, all of our tents, from 30 tents, decide that from tomorrow, minimum of 4 lessons a week, everyone has a duty that if he's not coming to the lesson, without a justification or is not functioning, then he places a fee on the table.
That we cover for the over. Sure, our attitude in the group will change. We'll even pray that less people will come to the lesson. Yes, the Eilat guy, or the guy from Eilat.
אני קצת פוחד כי אני מכיר את עצמי.
I'm a bit afraid because I know myself. I'm very lazy, and if I don't have 10, I'll get lost. And not just me, I imagine there's others here too.
Why will you not have a 10?
If it'll be like a spiritual 10, like you're calling it, where I need to connect to...
Wait a second. It's not going to be people?
You said to disconnect from the bodies.
Okay, but they'll compel you corporeally. Why didn't you come to the lesson? They'll look at your empty chair asking, where's Aran? Where's the spirituality? We don't see his face here.
So that's what's happening in the corporeal tent. If I'm missing, then there's some kind of shame and there's feel bad. At least that. If there'll be the kind of 10, I'll know. I know myself.
Why like that? It has to be much stronger, because to hold on to it, you have to imagine that it is a spiritual 10. That you're not adhered to the bodies, but that each one of them is a spiritual function.
Maybe I don't understand this spiritual 10 that you're talking about. I don't seem to understand. When there's bodies, when there's faces, okay.
I don't know. To answer correctly, because this is how I feel like. This is what I feel like, and then everything's clear, right? So this is what I feel like. This is what I want, and this is what we're gonna do. Everyone's calm. Excellent. Now how do we begin? Roy? There's already a plan. Everything's on the table. You don't know yet, but, we just talked about it in order to give you a feeling that this is something that was your idea, that you wanted.
What we'll be doing is we'll post as soon as possible, today or tomorrow, after Sabbath. There will be a plan where every friend knows where and in what 10 he'll be in, and he'll have a 10 for each day, and there'll also be, for each friend, they'll have like a map of the study hall with the tables where they're sitting, and on that day where you're sitting. With someone who gets in number 7 goes and sits on table 7. Let's say that we're 10, number 20, and we go and sit somewhere else in order to fill up a 10.
Yeah, because everyone's random. So that's good. It's better than 2-3 guys sitting someplace talking.
Now, in terms of language, Russian and English, we'll have two consistent tables that will be written on them, English and Russian. Anyone who speaks English and can't speak Hebrew will sit there. And additionally, whoever can speak English, even if they speak Hebrew, can sit there. So also whoever wants to mingle with them can do that too.
But they'll leave their tens?
There's no more permanent tens. This puts on hold the permanent tens.
But what do you mean that they're not steady if you give each of them a number?
I give him a number for a day.
Okay, but I came, I have a number, I have a place, I have everything. You're saying friends that see that the English-speaking group is incomplete, they can supplement. How can I supplement if I got a number in a different 10?
Okay, so I also imagine that quite a few people who are in English 10 want to mix in this process, and they don't want to always just talk English. There'll be a few that just want to talk only English.
What can you do with such guys?
So, in order for them that they'll also have this 10 and not to stop,
they should learn Hebrew and join everyone.
Okay, so we're not going to have any signs for English or Russian, everyone.
Nah, just to do that all at once, no.
So what do we do with the English and the Russian?
I don't know, we'll give them some time if they want. Maybe they want to remain as is.
We're not talking about many people here in Russian. It's about 4 people who only speak Russian, 4 or 5. And in English it's 1. 1 that really only speaks English, maybe 2.
It's the cowboy.
Not just him. There's a few others, but there's others who are willing, what they can say, they'll try it, to sit also where they speak Hebrew.
Yes, Hanoch.
האם הכלי הנשי יכול להיכנס להדדיות איתנו במהלך הזה בחיזוק?
Can women also join this process?
No. I don't recommend the women to make any changes. It's good that you've asked.
In terms to support the men, can they join to support them?
I just said no. This is what I just said. The women's kli stays as is. That's that. Let them be. Let's see how it works here. You're wise, Alex, wanting to make a revolution.
In regards to what Roy said right now, the change with the tens. Every day there's something else. So it's great in terms of integration and mingling, that every day we sit with different friends, we get from them. We get different influences from them, different discernments. But I still think that there needs to be some kind of group that will lead and be able to do the work within it.
Every group will make a root group out of themselves. I want to disconnect you from all your habits.
And what will happen throughout the day when we are not at all together?
Why are you not together? You'll be together for the day. Who said that you're not?
For example,
if you won't be together for the day, then we can close everything and go home. But you will really have to make an effort.
What I mean is that there's a group that goes together for a period of time, for quite a bit of time, then throughout the day we call each other.
And this is how you'll connect between yourselves during the day?
So keep the old framework?
What old? For that day.
Who are we calling throughout the day?
You connect with those same people that you sat with during the morning lesson during the day too.
Not just internal connection, but also like communication externally.
Phone, WhatsApp, whatever. What are you looking at me this way for? What? What's up there? This was not clear. To me, it was absolutely clear. It wasn't clear to you because during these 3 years you became accustomed to connecting with that same person, same face, same thing. So now it's going to be different. Feel that you're all the time in this work where everything's being renewed. Innovative work. And Tish. For everyone.
I just have one last word before we move on. Also, the focus groups will be a mixed random group throughout different days.
לא יראה ליבי, לא יראה ליבי, לא יראה ליבי, אם תחנה עלי מחנה, לא יראה ליבי, לא יראה ליבי, לא יראה ליבי, אם תקום עלי מלחמה, אוי מלחמה, אם תקום עלי מלחמה, אוי מלחמה, בזאת אני בוטח, 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 בזאת אני בוטח.
ונעבור עכשיו לסעודה. אנחנו מזכירים שהירידה לסעודה היא דרך המדרגות. ספרים להחזיר